The fog clung to the old apartment building like a shroud, muffling San Francisco's outer Mission District until the world felt like a whisper. Ellie and Marcus, bleary from a long day of hauling boxes, collapsed onto a sagging couch in Unit 4B, their new apartment. The rent was a steal. $1,200 a month in a city where studios cost 3 times that. The catch was the building. A crumbling 1920s Art Deco relic with soundproofed walls stained by damp and hallways that reeked of mildew and forgotten dreams. "It's creepy, but it's ours," Marcus said, forcing a grin. Ellie nodded, her eyes drifting to the cracked plaster. She'd left behind too much, especially Clara, her college friend who died after Ellie ignored her desperate calls. San Francisco was supposed to be a fresh start. That night, as fog pressed against the rattling windows, a low buzz woke Ellie. It wasn't a bus or the hum of the city. It was inside her skull, like static from a detuned radio. Then came a voice. Her voice. "We can't afford this," it whispered, sharp and bitter, echoing their move-in argument. Ellie sat up, heart pounding. She pressed her ear to the wall, and the plaster answered. "You'll fail him too." Her voice again, but twisted, cruel. She hadn't said that. Not out loud. Marcus stirred beside her, still asleep. The buzz thickened, layering voices, her sigh, Marcus's laugh, and then Clara's voice, raw and accusing. "You left me to die." Ellie grabbed her phone and swept the flashlight across the room. In the corner, the beam caught a shimmer. A man's silhouette. Gaunt, hollow-eyed, fingers twitching like he was turning invisible dials. The buzz spiked, and her voice screamed from nowhere. "Get out! Ellie!" Marcus bolted upright. "What's wrong?" "Didn't you hear it?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Hear what?" he muttered, rubbing his eyes. The room fell silent, except for a faint scratch from the wall, like a needle dropping onto vinyl. By morning, Ellie convinced herself it was exhaustion, a hallucination, nothing more. But the sounds returned the next night. Her whispered fears about money, Marcus's frustrated snap about her moping. All of it replayed through the walls, distorted into cruel taunts. "You're not enough," her voice hissed. "You're a liar," Marcus's voice spat back. The echoes weren't memories, they were weapons. Marcus grew distant, tense, suspicious. Ellie heard Clara's voice most of all, each word cutting deeper than the last. On the third day, Ellie left the apartment and went digging through the archives at the San Francisco Public Library. She discovered their building. The Eldridge had once been Harrow's Soundworks, a 1970s recording studio founded by Vincent Harrow, a reclusive genius obsessed with emotion in sound. He believed raw human feelings could be distilled into music. He pushed musicians to their emotional limits, to tears, to breakdowns, to capture what he called emotional symphonies. In 1973, a fire gutted the studio, and Vincent died inside. Since then, tenants had reported voices, breakdowns, and disappearances. One article mentioned a survivor, a folk singer named Maggie, who still lived in the building. Ellie found Maggie sitting on her stoop, chain smoking, her eyes clouded like fogged glass. "The walls listen," the woman rasped. "Vincent's still here, hungry for a voice to finish his song. He'll break you to get it." That night, the echoes turned into chaos. Ellie's confessions about Clara, Marcus's fears of losing her, private conversations and stray thoughts, twisted into screams that filled every room. The apartment shook. Dishes rattled. The walls chanted in a chorus of voices. "Fail. Lieutenant. Die." Marcus turned on her, You're recording me. You're messing with me, he shouted, storming toward the door. He stopped. The air turned heavy. The lights flickered. In the mirror, Vincent's shadow appeared, his mouth moving in sync with Ellie's voice. You'll die alone. The door slammed shut, locking itself. Marcus, it's not me, Ellie cried, but her voice barely rose above the noise. The walls pulsed. Cracks widened as if the building were breathing. A hidden panel in the living room wall creaked open, revealing a reel-to-reel tape labeled The Final Note. Hands shaking, Ellie pressed play. Her own voice screamed through the speaker, not from memory, but from a moment that hadn't happened yet. No, please, don't take me. The temperature plunged. Vincent's form stepped out of the static, a flickering shadow with eyes like blank tape reels. Give me your voice, he rasped. One true note to finish my work. Ellie couldn't breathe. It was like he was pulling the words from her lungs. Marcus ran to help her, but something slammed him into the wall, holding him there. His own voice echoed from nowhere. You can't save her. Ellie's vision blurred. Her lungs burned. Clara's voice screamed again. You let me die. Ellie gasped, her throat raw. Clara, I'm sorry. I failed you. I was scared. The buzzing faltered. Vincent's form flickered, his eyes narrowing. No, he growled. More despair. Ellie stumbled to the tape player, ripped the reel free, and smashed it on the floor. Vincent shrieked. Marcus broke free and pulled open the hidden panel, exposing a nest of charred reels. Burn them, Ellie croaked. Marcus lit them. The flames roared, brighter, hotter than fire should be. Vincent writhed, his scream a deafening screech of feedback. The apartment walls cracked. The building shook. Then, silence. The fog outside cleared. They fled the eldritch, Marcus half carrying Ellie, whose voice was now only a hoarse whisper. The building was condemned, but weeks later, in a cramped Oakland sublet, Ellie still spoke in whispers. Marcus edited his podcasts in silence, glancing at her like she might shatter. Back in San Francisco, a light flickered on in Unit 4B, and in the fog, a faint hum lingered, low, steady, listening.